Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded Patriots postgame show. I am your host, Eric. My main man down there, Ron, Kenny, the big dog up there on the top box. So we have a victory, my friends. New England Patriots pull off the victory against the Miami Dolphins 23-21 today to move to 8-8 and are currently holding on to the 7th seed in the playoffs. I guess we'll start off with your overall thoughts on the game itself. This is where you guys participate.
Yeah, I'm trying to still analyze what I just watched. I don't know. I don't know how they're. Well, first of all, they're 8-8. Okay, so they are what we thought they were. Remember that phrase?
Yep.
We are what they thought they are.
Yeah. Dennis Green,
but
rest his soul.
It's just I cannot believe they're in a playoff position. Can't believe that.
So I am going with glass half full. And I know that's rare for me.
Oh, yeah, that's rare.
But they've done enough now to put themselves in a position to get to the playoffs. As bad as they've played, as much as we've talked about and criticized the offense and the coaching decisions and the mistakes, they are technically in the playoffs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they secure their own destiny. They're not hoping somebody else loses. If they win next week, which is a tall tale against Buffalo, but if they win next week, they're in. And we can sit back and criticize them all year about all these horrible offensive calls and plays, but they've done enough to win 8 games, possibly 9.
Yeah, you're right. They're in charge of their destiny, but are they going to take it? I mean, it's like Mac Jones gets angry every week and he plays a little bit better, but you got to play almost perfect against Buffalo.
Yeah, look, I don't expect it to be easy cake ride, but listen, they've got to figure out the running game because that's been the last couple of weeks has been their strength all season. The last few games, they just haven't run the ball well. If you're going to have a shot against Buffalo, and we remember that game, that Monday night with the wind and all that craziness last season, and all they did is run the ball. They threw the ball 3 times, and I'm not saying
but what's the chances of that kind of weather being in Buffalo?
Right? Yeah, Buffalo. It's always a balmy, Miami feel to it when you go into Buffalo. So I'd be curious to see what the game plan would be. If they can run the ball effectively, they have a shot. You got to keep that Buffalo offense off the field and, make sure that you control the clock, which is something they don't do very well.
Yeah.
But let's look at some of the numbers. So New England, 249 yards of total offense. They gave up 333. 172 yards in the air to 247, but Miami late in that game was throwing a lot. 77 yards rushing for New England. That has to improve. 86 for Miami. So I thought the defensive line, the linebackers were definitely pretty good when it came to containing the rush. I thought they did a very good job today. 21 first downs from Miami, 14 for New England. Still struggling on third downs, 5 for 13 New England. Third down efficiency has been a problem all year. They just can't seem to figure it out. And they allowed 3 sacks today. So the offensive line just looked so shaky.
Yeah.
It just seemed like Mac Jones, even on some of those, he was just throwing the ball up because he knew the rush was coming every time. So it's something they got to figure out. But did control a little more mental toughness when it came to penalties, only 6 penalties for 39 yards. So those are some of the things we said they have to continue to work on. I know you, Ron, I can see it in your face. You don't want to believe, but some of the things that we said they weren't doing, if you notice, they passed a lot on first down.
Yeah.
They did not just do the run, 3rd and 8 now and trying to get a first down. They actually were throwing the ball very consistently. They threw a lot. So I like the fact that they at least are trying to do something different because it wasn't working.
The numbers in the game were absolutely horrendous. And those numbers should not have won a game. That it just because the other side couldn't do anything with the ball either.
But what was the reason for that? New England's defense.
Well, yeah, and that's been the strong suit the whole season.
So you ride that defense.
Yeah.
But still, when you look at those offensive numbers, that is appalling. And it just doesn't get it done.
Ron, you could have
They're
0
just
yards on
getting
offense.
lucky.
If you win, you win. It's a W. They
I
don't
know
look at
that.
it afterwards. And that's where I think we've got to start to change our mentality. Look, this team has a shot to get to the playoffs. They shouldn't. They are not that good of a team. They don't have offensive weapons. Their best player is Ramondre Stevenson, who's a good back. He's a very good running back, but I wouldn't say he's a superstar. They have a kid that came out of college that was a 15th, first round draft pick because so many teams passed on him because I don't think they believed in him. So, I mean, what you're able to do, again, this is where that Bill Belichick coaching comes into play, where they shouldn't be 8-8. They should be a lottery team right now where we're saying, look, they're in the top 10 to get a solid player. We're back in the 20s again. Because of his coaching, he's able to win some of these games.
I just look at this and it works both ways. There's two sides of the sword. This team should be better than what their numbers say. It should be better. And I'm sorry, yes, maybe he can coach them to a win, but he's not coaching them to take the win. Just absolutely snatch it. He's coaching like he's got, a third string quarterback, taking the snaps. He's not letting him flourish. And
today's game was a lot different.
I don't like it. I don't like the play calls. I still don't like the play calls. Yes, they mixed it up better on first down, but they're still terrible on third down. They're still missing the boat on what's being given to them. There's a lot of plays to be made, and they're not taking it.
But that's some of the players they have. Give me the offensive players on that field today. Who's the first one from New England? So if you look at both teams, Miami and New England, you're going Tyreek Hill, you're going Jalen Waddle, right? So that right away, you may have the third best offensive player. Who would it be? That's where I'm saying the problem is they're offensively. Offensively, they are very deficient when it comes to offense. They just don't have playmakers. They don't have guys that scare any defense.
That falls on Belichick. It falls on Belichick.
I agree, but you can't admit that. Then what they've been able to do with what the talent they have is pretty remarkable. And I think that's where we are so used to having these 14-2 seasons when we had Tom Brady and how he could make guys even better. Right. And now you got an average quarterback who's still able to get you to 8-8 and possibly a playoff berth.
But see, this is the problem right now. This is the problem. You're accepting that. You're saying that it's okay what we're getting from this right now. And I'm saying I think this is unacceptable because he's not giving the team a legitimate chance to win. He's not. He's not putting the roster together the right way. He's trying to save a buck.
And the funny thing is, based off of how you're talking, you think they lost the game today.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I think we're all getting a little spoiled here in New England.
And
the expectation, I think we are. I think listen, again, if you were going to tell me 3 weeks ago that this team was going to be playing week 17 for a playoff spot, I'd say you're crazy. They stink. They're horrible. They have no offense. Their coaching staff's been a bust. Their draft picks, special team. There's been mental mistakes. Here they are. They're going to play a game next week, probably get blown out, right? But at least I can still say I'm going to watch a meaningful game week 17 of the season because the New England Patriots have a shot to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the sad part. That is the sad part because we're getting cheated on a full team.
So I will ask you this question because we talked about it right before this show. You talked about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's in.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They haven't looked good all year either.
No.
But you said you're in the playoffs, anything's possible.
Right.
So let us get in. Anything's possible.
But that's with Tom Brady as a quarterback. Anything is possible.
Kevin got
now, Mac Jones is not Tom Brady. Mac Jones doesn't have the alternative to keep changing the plays at the line like Tom Brady had. You know, I mean, let's face it. I still think to this day that most of those plays that Tom Brady changed were good for the team winning. So it makes you wonder exactly where the genius is, because the genius right now doesn't look like so genius with the team that they've assembled.
So again, we're gonna be on this for a bit, because I'm gonna ask you again. Take Tampa Bay's roster. Who's the first offensive player that from New England? They're still third, fourth best.
Right.
So what we're doing with Mac Jones, who you say is not Tom Brady.
I'm just
Tom
saying,
Brady can't do it with better
this
talent
is,
right now.
This team is a product of Belichick. It's
Yeah,
a
he wants to
product of
play- he wants
Belichick
to-
because he wants to cut costs and
No.
doesn't want to spend the money that he saves.
No.
And this is what you get. That's why you have a deficiency on offense.
What is Bill Belichick's philosophy? What would you say is his philosophy? He wants to play good defense. He wants to be able
Yes,
to run
I
the
get
ball.
that.
That's the
I
team
get
he
that.
built. That's the team you built. He didn't
Yeah,
build.
and not-
He
and
didn't get
not
a
trying to
Devontae
get
Adams
any
because they're not
players.
going to air
Yeah.
it out. That's not what they do. They're not a chuck it down the field 55 yards every play. That's not
Okay,
who they are.
whatever.
I'm just saying.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Kenny, you want
But Bill's Belichick is so used to doing this. Okay, he changed it to today. Okay, that's how we got the win. We're so used to run, pass, but today was pass, run. So we got to switch it up. Everybody know what's coming. The run's coming. Yeah, that's why the run doesn't work. It's coming. They can see it's coming. Oh, what? Hey, they're gonna pass on first down. Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, what? What happened? What? He was open. Touchdown. Gotta switch it up.
How many
Yeah,
passing yards did they have today?
And
Mac
I
Jones
think
passed with 203.
And I think Bill Belichick's scared of that. Oh, yeah, we run the ball. Everybody's we know what they're gonna do.
203 yards is unacceptable at this point in this league. I'm sorry. It just is.
All right.
And look, right now, I'm putting him in the same category as Daniel Jones.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, that's fair.
Same category.
Okay, so I will ask you this though. Again, you want him to throw it 50 times a game. Who's
No,
he
I don't
throwing
want
it
him to
to?
throw it 50
Who's he
times
throwing
a
it
game.
to?
Exactly.
That's the point I'm making, Eric. That is the
Nelson
point I'm
Aguilar?
making. There isn't the guy that you need on the team because they don't want to do it. That's the point I'm making. You know, this is why we're going to be stuck in this thing for many years until we replace Belichick. That we're going to be 8-9, 9-8, 10-7. That's where we're going to be for the rest of time because you're never going to get out of it until you decide, hey, you know what? Let's spend a few bucks on offense. Instead of letting all of our offensive linemen walk, instead of letting all our good players walk because we can replace them and you can't, this is what we're going to get. And because it's Bill Belichick, oh my God, it's Bill Belichick, we will accept what he gives us. And, you know, oh, this team isn't supposed to be this good. So we're all happy?
Kenny.
We're all happy that they're not this good?
Kenny, I'm going to ask you a question. Devontae Adams, probably the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah.
What's the Raiders record?
Product of the Patriots, right?
All right. Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers in the league. What's the Dolphins' record?
Mm-hmm.
Spending money didn't do anything.
Yep.
It doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
No, that's not. All right. Okay. Never mind.
I'm just saying. I think we have to accept the fact that we are a good team. We're not going to be a great team, but you could get into the playoffs. I'm excited about having a possibility to make the playoffs. Mac Jones, 20 for 33 today, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Your overall grade of his play?
C. Like it is every week.
Yeah, I give him a B minus.
I give him a B plus, no interceptions.
And that offensive line, that poor kid was, I mean,
Yeah.
usually you get like 2 to 3 seconds
Yep.
is a decent amount. He was probably getting 1.5.
Yep.
They just were on him. And they need to bolster the offensive line. That's what you look at in the draft.
They could have had linemen, but they let half of them go. This is what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to get the receiver, but give us a line. That wasn't much to ask for.
They drafted a lineman in the first round, Cole Strange.
You could have got him in a third.
And you got you brought back Trent Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You kept Dave Andrews. That's a pretty good line.
And you let 3 guys walk. How is it a good line if they're on you all game long every week?
They need a better offensive line coach. I will agree with that. And I don't think Matt Patricia, in all fairness, is his first year trying to be an offensive coordinator, and you got him also trying to coach an offensive line. 2 jobs he's never done.
Mm-hmm.
You should have just said, take one. You're the offensive coordinator. We're going to bring somebody in to coach the offensive line because he clearly can't do both. Ramondre Stevenson, 8 carries, 42 yards. Damian Harris makes a return, 9 carries, 32 yards. Just they don't look right running the ball lately. Neither one of them.
No.
And I think that, again, a product of the offensive line and not being able to block properly. Nice sighting today, though. Taquan Thornton, three receptions, 60 yards. He had a touchdown. Thought they tried to stretch the field a little more. They definitely tried to throw down the field a little bit. Again, not having time, it threw off timing for sure. But this is why they drafted him. They drafted him because he ran a 4.2, I think, in the combines.
Yep.
He's a fast receiver. It's just you got to give the quarterback time to throw the ball. Hunter Henry looked decent today, 5 receptions, 52 yards. And then Jacoby Myers, he's been just the most reliable one. 6 receptions, 48 yards in that touchdown where blown defense by the Miami Dolphins. Offensively, any of those guys jump out to you?
Jacoby Myers.
See, I like Thornton out of all of that. It's showing signs of potential. But again, if you don't have a line, then it doesn't matter how much speed you have. You're not going to have time to go down the field.
Agreed. And I think that's what they've got to really focus on is getting that offensive line fixed next season. If you want to be a run the ball team, I'd be okay with that, but have a line that can at least block. And then if you want to throw the deep shot, you got to be able to give the quarterback time.
Yeah.
So defensively, Jawan Bentley, 5 tackles. He actually leads the team in tackles this season. He's had a great year for us. Kyle Duggar, 3 tackles, 1 interception, that big touchdown. I know in college, I believe he was a kick returner. You saw some of that skill on that return. He definitely. And then I want the meme of Mac Jones getting stiff-armed by Chandler Jones taken down, and that stiff arm that Duggar had when it came to Teddy Bridgewater, because Duggar laid him out. You know what? So quarterbacks can't tackle. There you go. Jonathan Jones, he's playing through an injury. You got to give that kid some heart, just for his toughness, because you could clearly see he's hurt. 3 tackles. He had an interception as well. That beautiful, the toe tap along the sidelines. Christian Barmore, it's his second week back after that injury. And again, you saw some of why they drafted him last year, his production. I say that they're getting healthy at the right times because some of these guys are definitely crucial to if they're going to make the playoffs. Barmore being one of them. They need that big body in the middle. He had a sack, and then Carl Davis had a sack as well. On the defensive side of the ball, what stood out to you guys?
Just the controlling of the line. I think, nobody had like eye-popping numbers or anything like that. It was controlled. So they weren't really giving a whole lot up. They weren't getting a whole lot, but they weren't giving up a lot. And I think just controlling those trenches was probably the best part of the defense, in my opinion.
I think they tackled very well today.
Yeah.
Very well. On the run, they tackled very well.
Yeah. Which is, when they're making the tackle at the goal line, is, I mean, the goal line, but the line of scrimmage, rather. That is, like I said, it's not getting those eye-popping sack numbers, but it's not giving up. You're not getting gouged.
Yeah.
And when they're making that tackle in that first line of defense, that helps. And then when the linebackers are there to clean up, then we're not seeing those numbers like your cornerback getting 12 tackles.
Yeah. No, look, I think they've done a great job this season of at least utilizing the most talented players on defense. So they play a lot of safeties, right? They kind of put them in that hybrid mode now. Like Duggar is playing like a linebacker slash, safety. Jabril Peppers, you saw him all over the place. Again, they do that same thing. Adrian Phillips. So they're going with what they have the strengths on. They're not very strong in the linebackers position other than Bentley. He seems like he's the most reliable. But they're able to mix and match some of these safeties. And you saw that in this game a lot. You saw a lot of these guys, and they said that one interception that Duggar had, it was probably confusing to Bridgewater because it should have been a linebacker in that position who wouldn't have been able to make that play.
Right.
So, you got to give them credit on that part of it because we discussed the linebacker situation early on in the year, and we were quite concerned with the amount of talent that they had from the linebackers position. They've seen to match that with the safeties.
I think Belichick Jr.
Steve Belichick
has gotten better, in that department, and I'm sure he's getting a lot of input from Bill, because I don't think Bill lets anybody do anything without his input. And I think, there is potential for Junior to blossom as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't be surprised Bill sticks around until Steve is able to take over and he just continue the Belichick run.
Probably his plan.
But again, you saw some good things out of the defense. It's definitely the strength of the team. They don't win games unless they score defensively. They've scored 7 defensive touchdowns this year. And they've got 8 wins. So if you look at it, right, realistically, you need your defense to score. That's the team they've built. Special teams, Nick Folk, 1 for 1. He hit the 49.
Reminds me a little of San Francisco.
A little bit.
Only they don't have those 2 guys on offense that just...
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there's a big difference offensively. But defensively, again, you could say they got Bosa, we got Judon. We got that pass rusher. He's second in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Folk, 1 for 1. The 49-yarder. He did miss an extra point again. This is 2 weeks in a row. A little concerning there. Your favorite, I don't know what's going on with your spirits over there, but
I don't know. It's like crazy.
That's the Patriots ghost coming back to haunt you for everything you're saying negative about him tonight. Michael Pilardi, 5 punts, 42-yard average, none inside the 20. I never thought I'd say I'd miss Jake Bailey, but I kind of miss Jake Bailey at this point. And Bailey wasn't having a good year either, but this is hard to watch. This kid just cannot punt. He cannot punt.
Like there isn't anybody on the scrap heap somewhere. Like really?
That's where they picked him up from, Pilardi.
There's got to be another guy somewhere.
And then you have to be concerned about the kick return game without Marcus Jones. You see the definite difference when he's not out there.
Is CFL still going on?
No, I don't think so. I haven't.
So can we get a punter from that league?
I don't know. Maybe we're gonna wait see what the XFL brings out.
No, that's what I was about to say.
Do they punt in the XFL? I don't even know what they do anymore. I don't think they punt.
Mm-hmm.
They don't punt. So before we go into our 3 stars of the game, our thoughts on the game next week against Buffalo. Obviously, it's for a playoff spot. I guess the key would be it looks like Buffalo is going to have to, depending on what happens with their Monday night game, because that might kind of determine if they really, getting a 1 seed or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they lose to the Bengals, they lose to the Bengals. I mean, I think they're automatically not going to be the 1 seed. So they may rest some guys.
Yeah,
I guess
so
we hold
basically
out
the
for that.
Patriots' future depends on whether or not Josh Allen rests.
Yeah. Do you give New England a shot in this game?
With a defense that can turn the ball over and score, you always have to give them a shot, but it's slim. It's slim. If Josh Allen is in there, I mean, I don't see him making, huge mistakes, as many as that they're going to need him to make. Because they're gonna put up points. They're gonna score like 25, 30 points on the Patriots.
I think in the last
you have to
2
be
games,
able to score.
They've only punted like twice.
Yeah.
New England.
Yeah.
So
like I'm giving the Patriots credit defensively. So if they give up 25, that's good against Buffalo. I think they're going to be on the field a lot. So you're going to be able to give up. You're going to give up points because you're going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah.
If Josh Allen is playing.
Yeah, and we don't even know when the game is yet because the NFL schedule hasn't announced. So it could be a Saturday game, it could be a Sunday game. Your light's definitely doing some funky things over there.
I don't know. Yeah. It's not the light isn't doing it. It's the camera.
So how we normally end our show, go ahead, Kenny. You had something?
Yeah, I think if the Patriots can get to the quarterback and let Buffalo make mistakes, we can pull out a win.
Right, control the clock. I think you got to be able to run the ball better.
Yep.
Yeah, again, turnovers are going to be key. We've seen that with New England. If they get some turnovers and they can make it, turn it into points.
Yeah,
it could. Yeah, I mean, stranger things have happened.
True.
All right, so our 3 stars of the game. Kenny, your 3rd star.
Mac Jones. He continued to get pummeled and rushed and touched and pushed and no interceptions.
Yep. Believe it or not, I also had Mac Jones as my 3rd star. I think that the kid showed a little bit of courage today. He stayed in that pocket when he was getting beat up. And on it
was the king of the forest.
That offensive line was horrendous. And Mac Jones, I mean, I think he got a little early on. He was missing some throws, but you saw he decided to stay in there. And then he just, he made some plays when he had to. Your 3rd star, Ron?
I have Thornton as my 3rd star. 60 yards, 1 TD, showing a lot of promise. He's been open. You just have to have time to throw the ball to him. And when you do, this is the kind of game you can have. I think if they can get a line, this guy can give you a consistent 100 yards per game.
Yeah, and we got to remember he missed the first half of the season with that injury. Yep. He was on the IR, so he's only played in 5 or 6 games now. So, it's taken him time to get used to the NFL speed, and I'm sure that again you can see some promise a couple of these games now where he's actually produced, at least something for the team, which is good to see. Number 2, Ron.
Number 2, I have Duggar. Look. That is what they need. Yeah. That is what they need to win. You have to turn the ball over. You have to score, and he's proven to be one of the best players in that defense all year.
Agreed. I had Jacoby Myers as my 2nd. I thought that again, 6 catches, 48 yards. That touchdown where he came down, I thought he got hurt there. But I think he's been that reliable guy for Mac. If there's one guy on the offense that he knows he can count on, it's Jacoby Myers. Your 2nd, Kenny?
I had Thornton, the rookie. He did a very good job today. I think that 2nd touchdown was a touchdown, but
no, he definitely was out.
Yeah,
he was out.
Them tiptoes were in.
No, I don't know about that. Your number 1, Kenny.
My number 1? Oh, yeah. It was Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
I went Duggar. I went Kyle Duggar.
Duggar.
On that interception touchdown. I thought that was the turning point of the game. Ron, your number 1?
I went Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
I like his game. There was nothing flashy about it.
Yeah.
But like I said, he was a big reason why they were controlling the play. There were not big chunks because of Bentley's play. And between you know going sideline to sideline in his movement and also pounding that line of scrimmage. I think he did a fantastic job, despite only getting 5 tackles. Only five.
But he was around the ball. You saw him around the ball
Absolutely.
a lot. So I agree with you. I could see that as well. Again, he's been their most reliable linebacker all season. So
right.
All right, this has been Sports Unfolded Patriots post game show. We normally do our show, Ron and myself, every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter live. Check it out. We are fan interactive. Kenny, your basketball rankings every week. We do a basketball ranking show and our NHL ranking show with Ron. So excited to continue to, our local team, the New England Patriots, do this show every week. We will join you next week to see if we are in the playoffs.
This is the first official Rhode Island broadcasting show of the year, even though it won't air until tomorrow.
2023. We kicked it off. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Happy New Year, gentlemen.
Yep.
And we will see you next week. Everybody out there, take care. All we ever ask for is peace in this world.
Have a good night, everybody.